Hey friends, this video is going to be on section 7.3, synthetic division with polynomials. So we are going to divide again like we did last class, only we're not using long division this time, we're going to use synthetic division. And you can use synthetic division as long as your divisor is a binomial. So as long as your divisor is a linear binomial, you can use synthetic division. So synthetic division is a little limited, but many times we want to divide by a binomial, and in that way it's much faster. So first of all, the binomial is x minus 4. So we are going to take the opposite of x minus 4. Actually, what we're going to do is, technically speaking, what we're doing is solving for x. Okay, but at any rate, most people think of using the opposite of what you see. So we are going to put the negative 4, we're going to change it to 4 and put it right here. Put a little box around it to hold it in place. And then we are going to take the dividend, which is this piece, and we are going to take just the coefficients. So just the numbers in front. So we are going to take the 1, negative 2, the negative 22, and the 40. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave space. I am going to leave space right here because I'm going to fill that space in a moment with numbers. I'm going to put an equals bar. And then I am going to begin the process. And the process is pretty straightforward, but you do need to follow it. The process is, the very first thing, which most people have a hard time remembering, is the very first number is just going to come straight down. So our lead coefficient was a 1, so this is going to be a 1. Now that we have done that, we are going to take the number in the box, which is the 4. We are going to multiply it by 1. And 4 times 1 is 4. And we are going to record that 4 right here. So 4 times 1 is 4. So 4 times 1 is 4. So we put it right there. I do not like the fact that I put the multiplication symbol, made it look like a variable. Here we'll go. Make it look more like a multiplication sign. All right, then we're just going to add. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2. And then we're going to begin the process again. We're going to take 4. And we're going to multiply it by 2. And 4 times 2 is 8. And then we are going to take negative 22 plus 8. And negative 22 plus 8 is negative 14. And then we're going to go one more time. We're going to take 4 times negative 14. And 4 times negative 14 is negative 56. And then we are going to add 40 minus 56 and get negative 16. Okay, so now this is our remainder. This is our constant. This is our x term. And this is our x squared term. So the answer is, or the quotient is, x squared plus 2x minus 14 plus the fraction negative 16 over x minus 4. And so, no, x minus 4 is not a factor. 4 is not a solution. However, the ordered pair for negative 16 is on the graph. So while we didn't find where it crosses the x-axis, we did find an ordered pair that's actually on the graph. And the ordered pair is 4, negative 16. The ordered pair comes from the number we multiplied by and the remainder we got. Okay, so let's try another. Well, let's look at the notes that Mrs. Dale wrote here and see if it'll make sense. Make sure your polynomial is in standard form. Fill in the zeros for any missing remainder or any missing terms. And if you have a remainder, it goes on a fraction over the divisor. So, okay, let's look at this one. So, first of all, that is an 8. So over here in the box, I'm going to put a negative 8. Then I'm going to take the dividend and I'm going to write down all the coefficients. So I'm going to write down 1 and 5 and negative 20 and 32. And if you want, you can put plus 32, it doesn't matter. I'm going to leave a space. I'm going to put my equals bar. I'm going to pull the first number straight down. And now I'm going to begin. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, until there is no more multiply, add available. So I am going to take, purple is what I use, just trying to be consistent on my coloring. I am going to take negative 8, and I'm going to take negative 8, and I'm going to multiply it. I'm going to multiply by 1, and negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. And then I'm going to add those two numbers together. 5 minus 8 is negative 3. Then I'm going to do it again. Negative 8 times my new number, negative 3. Negative 8 times negative 3 is 24. So I'm going to put 24 right there. I'm going to add those two numbers together. Negative 20 and 24 is 4. And then I'm going to multiply one more time. Negative 8 times 4. And negative 8 times 4 is negative 32. And I'm going to add those two numbers together. 32 minus 32 is 0. So this would be my remainder, so there isn't one. This is the constant. This is the x term. And this is the coefficient of the x squared term. So the quotient, the answer, the quotient is 1x squared minus 3x plus 4. And then we would say that yes, x plus 8 is a factor. Negative 8 is a solution. So the graph crosses the x-axis at negative 8, or it intersects the x-axis at negative 8. All right. Does it say to do divide? Divide the polynomial using synthetic division. So yep, that's all we're doing today. There's more to this, but that must be what's coming up next. All right. So, same thing. I will notice, point of emphasis, which I haven't pointed out. This is in the wrong order. This is the fifth power, and then we have the fourth power, and then the third power. There is no second power. There's a first power and x to the 0. So we need to rearrange that. This is doable because we are dividing by a binomial. So this -3 we're going to put in the box, but when we put it in the box, it's going to become a 3. And I think my pen is a little fat. Okay, so we're going to put a 3 in the box. So a 3 goes in the box. And then let's pay attention. So we're going to put a 1 because, let's go through here. We're going to put a 1 because the highest power is a fifth and the number in front of x to the fifth is 1. Then this is our next highest power. So our next number should be -5. After that, our next highest power is 3. Hello. 3. So our coefficient of x cubed is 6. Notice there is no second power. There is no second power, so we're going to put in a 0. And then there is a x to the first power, and its coefficient is 5. And then the constant is -15. So I guess perhaps what I should have done is rewritten this. So this would be x to the fifth minus 5x to the fourth plus 6x to the third plus no x's to the second plus 5x to the first, technically, minus 15x to the 0. But nobody ever looks at x to the 0, and no one ever looks at a first power. And so, and by the way, nobody ever writes the 1. But then if you'll notice, all of these numbers are right there. Okay, so that's what's happening there. All right, enough of that. We're going to leave space. We're going to put an equals bar. We're going to bring down the 1. And then we're going to multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So we're going to take the 3. And we're going to take 3. And we're going to multiply 3 times 1. And 3 times 1 is 3. And then we're going to take -5 and 3. And -5 and 3 is -2. Then we're going to multiply 3 times -2. And 3 times -2 is -6. And 6 minus 6 is 0. Do not let that bother you. It's a number. Good. Keep moving. Don't focus on that. 3 times 0 is 0. Not a problem. Life is good. Don't stress. 0 and 0 is 0. Awesome. Do it again. 3 times 0 is still 0. 5 and 0 are 5. And then 3 times 5 is 15. And -15 and +15 are 0. Okay. So we could do this the way we did the other one. We could say that this is the remainder, that this is the constant, that this is x to the first, that this is x to the second, that this is x to the third, that this is x to the fourth. Certainly can do it that way. That's the way I was taught to do it in high school. Or you could simply streamline it and say if our highest power in the dividend was 5, our highest power in the quotient will be 1 smaller, which is 4. You could also do it that way. I have had students who have had success thinking of it that way. Instead of counting to get your powers, you just reduce your power by 1. So our answer is going to be 1x to the 4th power minus 2x to the 3rd power plus 5. So that is our quotient. And then we're going to say, yes, x minus 3 is a factor, and 3 is a solution. In other words, if we were to graph this curve, one of the places a curve would intersect the x-axis would be at the number 3. Alrighty. Number 4. So the first thing I noticed right off the bat in this dividend, there is a whole bunch of power missing. So if your person needs to see the power before we write it, that would be x to the 3rd power plus no x squareds plus no x's minus 27. Okay? Alrighty. We're doing that in blue. The opposite of this number is 3. Again, that's a short way. Technically speaking, we are solving for x. X equals 3. Okay? So, the solution to the binomial, if you will, would be 3. So that's what's going to go in the box. So 3 is going to go in the box. And remember, this is just a shortcut to long division. All of these will work with long division. The coefficient of the x cubed term is 1. The coefficient of the x squared term is 0. The coefficient of x is 0. And the constant is negative 27. Put your equals bar. Boop, bada, boom. Bring your first number straight down. And then you're going to multiply add. So you're going to take 3 times 1, which is 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. Then you're going to take 3 times 3, which is 9. 0 plus 9 is 9. Then you're going to take 3 times 9, which is 27. And negative 27 and positive 27 are 0. Our highest power was the 3rd power. So our highest quotient power is going to be 1 less than that quotient. So our quotient is going to be 1x squared plus 3x plus 9. Okay? By the way, just for tickles and grins, let's do this in long division just to show you that you get the same thing. In long division yesterday, we did this. X minus 3. We wrote x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 27. We said x cubed divided by x is x squared. So we put x squared here. Then we took x squared times x and x squared times negative 3. And x squared times x was x cubed. And x squared times negative 3 was negative 3x squared. Then we put our equals bar. Then we subtracted. So x cubed minus x cubed canceled out. And 0 minus an already negative gave you a 3x squared. Then you write down the next term. And then you started over again. So you started over again. So you said 3x squared divided by x is 3x. So you put 3x here. And then you did the multiply. You distributed. You took 3x times x and 3x times negative 3. And x times 3x times x gave us 3x squared. Wrong color. Nope, right color. 3x squared. And 3x times negative 3 gave us negative 9x. So we put our equals bar. And then we subtracted. 3x squared minus 3x squared cancels. 0 minus an already negative 9x gives you a positive 9x minus 27. And then we started again. So we said 9x divided by x is 9. So we put plus 9 here. and then we distributed. We took 9 times x, we took 9 times negative 3. Well, 9 times x is 9x, 9 times negative 3 was negative 27. Put our equals bar there, and then we said we're going to subtract 9x minus 9x cancels, and negative 27 minus a negative 27 also cancels, which gets you 0. And so our answer was right here. That was our quotient. And if y'all notice, that is the same as is right there. So it works. All right. Long division, synthetic division. Synthetic is just a shortcut. It's something that people think is easier and faster. It is limited because it only works when you have a binomial divisor. Oh, okay. Didn't realize this was in here either. Okay, so we're going to do this. So we're going to determine if it's a factor without dividing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say that if that is x minus 5, then we're going to use the number 5. So we're going to go 2, 5 cubed, plus 7, 5 squared, plus 2, times 5, plus 1. And we're going to put that in our calculator. So you put that in your calculator. So you go 2 parenthesis 5, close it, raise it to the third power, plus 7 parenthesis 5, close it, square it, plus 2 times 5, plus 1. And I did not type that in correctly. We'll try one more time. And then plus 7. And when we do that, we get 436. So the answer is, why did I do this in blue? No, x minus 5 is not a factor. However, the ordered pair of 5 comma 436 is on the graph. If you don't like the way that's written, think of it this way: x cubed minus 13x minus 12 divided by x plus 3. So we're going to test negative 3. So we're going to say negative 3 raised to the third power minus 13 times negative 3 minus 12. That would be negative 27. That would be 26 minus 12. That would be negative 39 plus 26. That would be negative 13. So the answer is no, x plus 3 is not a factor. However, negative 3, negative 13 is on the graph. And I don't like the fact that we never got one that was a yes, so let's come up here to one that is a yes. Let's do this one. If we wanted to check 3, we could have said 3 to the 5th power plus 6, 3 to the 3rd power minus 5, 3 to the 4th power plus 5 times 3 minus 15. If we put that in our calculator, we should get 0. So 3 to the 5th plus 6 times 3 to the 3rd minus 5 times 3 to the 4th. 15 minus 15 comes out to be 0. So that comes out to be a yes, which we knew already. But I didn't like the fact that the 2 examples in this set of notes were both no's, but they were both no's. They would be yeses if we got 0. They're no's if you get any other number. All right, my friends, that is how you do synthetic division.